Hey guys, you welcome back to my channel. So this is Learn French with Queen. If this is the first time you're stumbling on my video, I say a big welcome. So this is a space for learning French. If you're a French lover, I say a big welcome. So do want to check out my previous video. If you find them useful, give them thumbs up, share to loved ones, and don't forget to subscribe. So in today's video, we'll be looking at noun gender endings in French language. Okay, so we'll be looking at how we can detect if a word is of a masculine gender or of a feminine gender in French language. Actually, there is no specific rule to say this noun is of a masculine gender or this noun is of a feminine gender. Okay, there are some words that you can easily look at and detect that, oh, this is of a masculine gender and this of a feminine gender. So those are the things we'll be looking at, the tips for discovering or for identifying which of these gender are of male or female, that is masculine or of feminine gender. So basically, some of this gender detecting of gender in French language, most times we have some of these words to be masculine and then we can have the feminine of it. And so in today's video, I will be dividing these endings into two particular groups. Okay, so for the first group, we'll be looking at some various forms of ending, which I have them into 6 places. And the second batch that we'll be looking at, I just have them as masculine and feminine. So because there are some words that are just basically masculine, you can't find the feminine of it. There's no female of it. That okay, if a male is like this, then the female will be like this. The noun is purely masculine, and if it is feminine, and I have the second, which is feminine, purely feminine. So there are some nouns like that they are just purely feminine, that you just have to use them like that. It's just like saying maison, une maison. Maison does not have a masculine form of it or a feminine form. Okay, so in the first category, we will be looking at detecting the masculine form of it and the feminine form of it, which I said I divided into 6 various categories as well. I mean subcategories as well. Okay, so in these subcategories, in this part, this is where we'll be looking at some of those words that, okay, when we have the masculine gender, we can as well detect the feminine gender. For example, we have them in fields like professions. Okay, maybe when you say infirmier, you know that the feminine will be infirmière. Okay, so we have things like that. We have professions and we have nationalities. Okay, je suis nigérien, je suis nigérienne. Okay, ou bien je suis français ou bien je suis française. Okay, things like that, and some other things like that. We have some animals like saying le chien, la chienne. Okay, so there are some words like that when we have the masculine of it, we can as well have the feminine form of it. So in today's video, we'll be looking at all these forms of it. So at least that as well could help in reducing the stress of detecting which gender is this French word. Okay, when we have them in our learning, in our general learning. Okay, so let's start. So these are the first categories. Okay, under the first batch which I talked about, I have a 6 subcategories. So this is the first out of the sub 6. Okay, so let me add to it that basically in French language, it has been observed that when words end with e, generally they are mostly feminine, of a feminine gender, and any other word that is ending with a consonant are mostly of masculine gender. So most times it is observed that those words that are ending with our vowels, basically are vowels, and the remaining consonants, when you see words ending with consonants, most times they are of masculine gender. So we have this. Okay, these are the endings: te, tie, ee, ie. So we can see them, the e at the end of it. So basically, you will see that most of the words ending with e are of feminine gender, like this now, but we still have exceptions to the rule. Okay, there are some words that end with e as well, which are not of a feminine gender, and that we have here. So we have this une spécialité. Can we see the e à la fin? Okay, we have la liberté. Okay, we have la moitié. We have la pitié. We have la soirée. We have une idée ou bien l'idée. We have ane, une année, ou bien l'année. Okay, so all these are of feminine gender. We have la biologie, la librairie. Okay, so basically these are of feminine gender. So these are the exceptions to the rules. We have some of these endings with e, ordinary e. We have the ending with ordinary e, which is l'été, which is of the masculine gender. That is summer in English language. We have le pâté. Okay, we have le résumé. These are ending with e, but they are of masculine gender. We have le pré. We have those of double e, having double e at the end of it. For example, we have le musée. Okay, le musée is of a masculine gender. We have le lycée. We have le trophée, and we have that of ie ending with e, which is l'incendie, fire outbreak actually. So these exceptions are of masculine gender, but except from some of these exceptions, generally we have our words ending with e to be of a feminine gender. So let's look at the second category. Okay, now so we have the second category. Okay, can we see the second category? We have those ones that the ending is with t, e, u, r, e, u, r. So these are of the masculine gender. Okay, so when the masculine gender is having this ending, the feminine gender will be having either of these endings. Okay, so for example, we have un chanteur. So when we have un chanteur, definitely the female of it is going to be une chanteuse. Okay, so we can have a masculine form of it and still have the feminine form of it. So we can dictate that, oh, this is of a masculine gender. When we have it this way, we know that this is of a feminine gender. So this is a feminine singer, somebody that sings. Okay, this is masculine form of it. Okay, so we have un traducteur. We know that, oh, un traducteur, so masculine. We have une traductrice. So we have un traducteur, une traductrice. Okay, so when we see un traducteur, we know that it's of a masculine gender. When we see une traductrice, we know that it's of a feminine gender. So we have un acteur, une actrice. Okay, so we have another one here as well. We have un danseur, une danseuse. We have un vendeur, une vendeuse. These are some of the ways we can detect that, oh, these endings are for feminine gender, and these endings, okay, when we have them this way, we know that certainly they are of masculine gender. There is no but about it. So let's look at the third category for the first batch. Okay, so for the third category as well, we have these endings as well. Okay, so we can see those endings with an, like un paysan. We have une paysanne. Okay, un paysan, une paysanne. So there's a stress on the end, so we can see the ending an, ien. And so for the feminine form of it, you will notice that there is double ne, double ne, double ne, double ne. And so that is how the ending is. It makes it unique. When you see this kind of ending, you know that, oh, they are feminine endings. So when I see this kind of words or nouns, I know that they are feminine gender. So when I see it this way, I know that they are of masculine gender. For example, we have un parisien and we have une parisienne. Okay, we have un musicien, we have une musicienne, we have un chien, une chienne. Okay, so we have le patron, la patronne, c'est mon patron, c'est ma patronne. Okay, we have le baron, une baronne. Okay, la ou, la baronne. We have le lion, la lionne. Okay, so we have them. So we have these exceptions which are strictly of masculine gender. We can't detect if this one has a feminine form of it. Obviously, it doesn't even have a feminine form of it. It's just strictly masculine. So we have un champignon, we have un ballon, we have le citron, ou bien un citron. So citron does not have a feminine form of it. Ballon does not have a feminine form of it. Champignon doesn't have a feminine form of it. So these are just some of the exceptions we have. Okay, so let's look at the fourth category. Okay, so this is the fourth category, okay, of those ones that I talked about, that we can detect the masculine and the feminine form of it. Okay, so we have the IER ending and the ER ending with the ET endings. Okay, so we have, for example, we have l'infirmier. So we have the ones with the IER. So the feminine form of it will be having an addition of E at the end. Just like I have said earlier, that most times when our verbs are ending with E, they are most times of a feminine gender. But when they end with any consonant, they are of a masculine gender. Like R now is a consonant and they are masculine. T, R, R, E, 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 E. Can we observe that they are most times of of masculine gender if they are consonant, and if they are ending with is, most times they are of feminine gender. So we have IER, and the feminine form of it will be infirmière. Okay, so we have un étranger, and the feminine will be une étrangère. Okay, we have le boucher, and the feminine form of it will be la bouchère. Okay, so we have a as well. We have le cadet, and we have la cadette. Okay, we have le garçonnet, and we have la fillette. Okay, so this was even obvious. This is from the word garçon and fille. So we know that this is masculine, this is feminine. We have cadet and cadette. Okay, so and of course we have exceptions to the rules. Okay, so for the ER or IER endings, so we have le cahier. So these are basically masculine. They don't have a feminine form of it to say, okay, because this is masculine form, we can detect the feminine form. This one, they are strictly masculine. They are masculine nouns. They don't have feminines at all. So we have le cahier, we have un quartier, we have un escalier. Okay, our stairs, our staircase. We have le ticket for the ET ending. We have le ticket. We have le projet. Then we have la poussette. This now they are strictly feminine. They don't have masculine forms of it. Okay, so they are strictly feminine for the French word. We have la poussette. We have la baguette. Okay, so these are some of the tips we can look at, some of the clues we can look at to say, okay, these are some of the ways we can detect our noun gender endings in French language. To say, okay, when I see this, I can detect that it's of a masculine gender. When I see this other one, I can detect that it's of a feminine gender. So let's look at the 5th and the 6th categories. Okay, so this is the last category for the first batch. So the 5th and the 6th. Okay, so we'll be looking at the gender endings to determine if it's of a masculine gender or it's of a feminine gender. Okay, so we have the last categories for the first batch. Okay, so which is le lapin, la lapine, okay, le cousin, la cousine. Okay, so but we have exceptions as well, which is this is strictly masculine, and this other one under is strictly feminine. So there's nothing to determine that, okay, this has a male form of it, this has a female form of it. So there are words like that they don't even have male form of it or any female form of it. They are strictly masculine or they're strictly feminine. And we have some other ones that we can detect, okay, the feminine form of it or the masculine form of it, like le lapin. We know that this is a male rabbit. La lapine, we know that this is the feminine form of it. Okay, so we have le vin, le coussin. Okay, we have la faim, humain, la cuisine. Okay, so these are strictly feminine, while these are strictly masculine. So we have another one, the last form of it, which the masculine form of it is not even the same as the feminine form. So the endings are not, they do not even tally at all. For example, we have un veut and we have une veuve. Okay, we have un époux, une épouse. Okay, so these are some of the ways we can determine our gender ending to see if these are masculine of the masculine gender or the feminine gender. And so the last one we'll be looking at strictly nouns that are masculine and feminine before we call it a wrap. So we can see some of our endings here that are strictly masculine of the masculine gender. Though we have some little exceptions that we are going to be looking at. Okay, so we have some of these endings this way, the ISME, ASME, with examples like le tourisme, le racisme, and so many other examples. There are so many other examples that we can't exhaust. So we have le fantasme, we have l'enthousiasme. Okay, we have, for example, man. When you say any word that is ending with man, you know that they are masculine. So like just like I said earlier, most of the words ending with consonants are masculine. Can you see that they are ending with consonants, except for words like garage and these ones. For example, we have man, we have un appartement, un bâtiment, un chapeau, le vêtement, le document, ainsi de suite. We have le travail, éventail, ail. Okay, so we have the ing. So we have the marketing, the packing. Okay, so these are borrowed words actually, so they are masculine of masculine gender. We have the we have the soi, le soir, l'espoir, le miroir, l'espoir, le soir. So they are all masculine gender. We have the AL, like we have le cheval, le journal, and the rest of it. We have O. Okay, so we have le cadeau, gâteau, chapeau. So this O and some others too. Like I said, we have some exceptions as well that are masculine, but most times they will be feminine gender. We have the age. So when you see words ending with hash, A-G-E, that is A-G-E. So we have them like example, le village, voyage, garage, ainsi de suite. Okay, so these are some of those words that we can see that they are strictly masculine, don't have the feminine form of it. So like I said that there are some exceptions to the masculine form of it. So we have exceptions like la pole, lo for the E-A-U. We have le cadeau, le château, and the rest. So the exceptions for that are masculine is la pole, lo. So we have une image, those ones that we have hash like le garage and the rest of it. So the exceptions we have une image, une page, une plage. Okay, so but for the feminine that are strictly feminine, so we have some endings too for strictly feminine, such as A-N-C-E, E-N-C-E, A-N-S-E, E-N-S-E as well. For example, we have la chance, we have la danse, okay, we have patience, but we have a but for this as well, an exception, which is le silence. But apart from le silence, every other word they are feminine, of the feminine gender. We have sion, sion, sion. So whichever word that you have sion for, most times they are feminine. We have la région, addition, réunion, télévision, communication, anything sion, you know that they are of a feminine gender. Okay, but we have a but for this aspect. For example, un avion. So apart from un avion, every other sion is of a feminine gender in French language. Okay, so we have tu as well. When we have T-U-R-E, okay, so like for example, we have la voiture, confiture, and the rest of them. We know that once you see us endings like this, you can detect that they are of a feminine gender. So we have another one, L. For sure, anything that is L is feminine in French language. Okay, so we have la Santielle, demoiselle, and the rest of that. We have some other examples. So we have ISE. So we have la surprise, Davis, and the rest of that. So these are some of the endings that we can predict to see that okay, these are feminine, strictly masculine, or feminine and it has a masculine form of it. Okay, so we have I and then we have ADE. For example, we can have tie, batai, and the rest of the tie. So anywhere we see the tie, we know that they are feminine gender. And we have facade, pomade. Okay, note for this add, that is ADE ending, we have an exception of low start. Okay, start too is ADE. So that's the only exception. Apart from that, most of the words are of a feminine gender. Okay, so this is where we're going to put a pause for today's video on gender or of gender endings, that is noun gender endings in French language. I hope you find this video useful. So in essence, we have some words that are strictly masculine in French language, strictly feminine, masculine or feminine in French language, and there are some others that we have that when we have the masculine form of it, there are feminine form of it. Like I said earlier, some of them we can predict them, like professions, maybe animals, and then maybe nationalities and the rest of it. So these are some of the things that when we see them, we know that this thing we have a feminine form of it. Okay, but aside that, note, if you are not sure, you can always confirm from the dictionary. Like I said, there are no specific rules and regulations to say this is a masculine, this is feminine. But these are things that have been obvious over the time, that when you see words having vowels as their ending, we can detect, or most times E as their ending as well, so we can detect that they are of the feminine gender, and the other consonant words, like I said, are of a masculine gender. So these are some of the clips to just help one through the masculine or feminine gender stuff in French language. So I hope you find this video useful. So do well to give it a thumbs up if you find it educative or so useful. So share to loved ones, and don't forget to subscribe. Let's keep the comments going. So see you till next time. Okay, wow.